So, sir, Chaplain Potter has now retired, and you have been affirmed as the 15th Chief of Chaplains. You have now been retired and had time to look back and reflect over your time as the Chief of Chaplains. In reflection, what would you consider among your most significant, I know you had a lot, but among your most significant or influential impact on the Chaplain Corps?
Yeah, well, obviously, the best answer is you got to ask somebody else that. I was going to use the, I wonder,
Yes,
if anybody remembered that he was the Chief of Chaplains. But as I think about the privilege, and by the grace of Almighty God, it was my turn for a while. And so, and we were at war. We had been at war. Chaplain Potter led us through the first 3 years. And from 9/11 to 04, she was the chief that took our chaplain corps into the battlefield and so forth, and I was her helper. So now we had to continue. And we were, saw no end in sight.
That's true.
And we were still calling up, who's next? We need another person to go to this new place, and it's not fun. So so those things we knew were coming. But as I prayed and asked the Lord for guidance and so forth, I think one of the things that was helpful was the vision statement. We changed the vision statement. And Chaplain Potter needed a vision statement to help us all come together, work together, etc. And she had a very good, excellent, and long vision statement about working together and taking care of everybody. That was what was needed at the time. I wanted something that we all could just pick up and go.
Yes. So,
as you may remember,
glorifying God.
Exactly. Glorifying God, honoring airmen, serving all.
Yes.
That was what we, and we had this really great media guy working in the Chief of Chaplain's office that came up with these coins and plaques and seals and stuff that had glorifying God, honoring airmen, serving all. I even went to a chapel once. They had the rug, and as you entered a chapel, had that on there. I thought, well, good, the word's getting out. Now, is the message getting out? Because that's what we want in the midst of this chaos we're continuing to live through. Are we glorifying God in all that we do? And obviously, by then we had Muslim chaplains. So they were different. And we've always had Jewish chaplains, and they're beautiful, rabbis, and they're glorifying God in their way. And we had even some Baptists, hopefully, were glorifying God in the messages and the way they treated people, etc. And then honoring airmen. That was, our thing, which led me among the things that some people remember was when I showed up at the base, I'd ask the wing chaplain, where's the bomb dump? And hopefully he or she knew.
Right.
And if they didn't, they found out, because every base, whether it's just for a visit or a few hours, I said, take me to the bomb dump, because those people are out there at the farthest end of the base. Nobody knows they're there. It's extremely dangerous. They're building bombs and so forth. And of course, I learned to incorporate bomb dump stories into the sermons. If you see a bomb dump troop running, follow him. So those kind of things were. But the goal was to put us into the lives of the airmen that were there. And so we went to the bomb dump, and then serving all meant, and take care of the families, and don't forget the children, and what programs have you got going, and then go to the orphanages. And so the chaplains, as you know very well, because you were one of them, at deployed locations found orphanages, and they were serving all. They were taking care of everybody. So that was our vision, and it kind of caught on, I think, and people were blessed by that. So that was the vision, the bomb dump ministry, we called it. And that was, again, I think helped the chaplain corps discover part of the community that we weren't paying attention to, and get back on the flight line, walk with the troops, etc. I went to spoke at every chaplain school class. And every once in a while, some bold young person would say, "What can I do to get your job?" And I said, "Well, I never thought about that."
Exactly.
But I said, "Well, here's my answer today. Go to the bomb dump at midnight, because there's people building bombs out there, and don't tell anybody you went, and just continue on."
That's it.
I said, "I guarantee you, the commander, the first sergeant will first know that the chaplain was out there, because they got to sign you in, and then the word will spread. The chaplain was out at the bomb dump in the midnight." And if you get that kind of reputation that you care about people, maybe, in God's wonderful plan, that you may continue on. And so,
Exactly.
and it's because it's not your call.
That's
and
it.
wasn't your fault you got promoted,
Exactly.
or maybe it was. If somebody else made that promotion decision, but you just did the best you could.
That's it.
With the gifts you have. And so it is amazing. Wow. And then, the last thing I just mentioned that I enjoyed so much were the National Prayer Breakfasts. And I had the privilege at the time. We had this great media guy that helped us out so much doing different projects with posters and things. And so we created prayer breakfasts that had a theme. Don't ever sell your saddle. I prayer masquerade from Les Mis. So anyway, I enjoyed that, but mostly because it got you out there.
That's it.
And around 1 year, I think I did 30 prayer breakfasts because we had the money. They wanted the chaplain to go out and help these people, because I had to go back to the chief of staff was General Mosley then, and he said, "Chaplain, tell me what's going on out there. You're my ears. I can trust you to tell me what's going on." So it was an important role to play, and as the senior pastor for the Air Force. Yeah.